made. Left Arkansas a long time ago, but I really don't miss it. Since I shoved my wiener to this trailer park hoe and told her to kiss it. I got the skills, though I may not be a Jew. Say that I'm crooked, well, hell, so is my penis. I ain't bitter, I never been a quitter. I was only 6 when I knocked up my own babysitter. My name is Bubba Clinton, and I'm an assholic. Hi, Bubba. I get booty like a lactose-intolerant baby gets a colic. I don't apologize for the way I live my life. You'd be like me, too, if you were married to my wife. Hi, my name is... My name is... My name is... Slick Willie. Hi, my name is... My name is... My name is... Slick Willie. Hi, my name is... My name is... My name is... Slick Willie. Hi, my name is... My name is... My name is... Slick Willie. Smoked pounds of reefer in college, but swore to God I didn't inhale. Got busy on Miss America like a bitch with a charge card at Bloomingdale's. Had a health plan idea, but it didn't pass. Whitewater gave Foster diarrhea, so I had to bust a cap in his ass. But now the tragedy in Littleton makes me realize guns are bad. I guess that's why Congress won't let me do to Kosovo what I did to Baghdad. Want to send in ground troops to stop that Milosevic? Knock him for a loop, because he's just a punk-ass bitch. Every time I want to get military, they be giving me grief, because I'm a draft-dodging weasel, but I'm still commander-in-chief. Critics say I'm phonier than Pamela Lee's implants. Tried to take me out like them too, but they blew their big chance. I got lots of problems, but I don't want to bother you. I got my hands full just trying not to screw up Yugoslavia. Hi, my name is... My name is... My name is... Slick Willie. Hi, my name is... My name is... My name is... Slick Willie. Hi, my name is... My name is... My name is... Slick Willie. Hi, my name is...
Get faster, people, get faster, hit me!
Imus in the morning.
I'm here at the...
The king is dead. The Mambo King is dead. Long live the Mambo King. And as is the case with any tragic loss, I went through the usual stages: disbelief, denial, and now I've settled into a strong but healthy anger. Why should a man who has done so much for Hispanic culture be taken from us so soon when somebody like Bob Hope gets to cheat the Grim Reaper one more time? Don't get me wrong, I got nothing against the guy, but 97 years old. Thanks for the memories, Bob. We appreciate it. We love you. We'll miss you. But get the out already.
No.
I mean, it's been a good run. Bing is waiting for you in the clubhouse. It's time to get into the cart and hit the road to the great hereafter. You've done it all. You're a legend. But you're taking up space that can be better filled by people who can still make a positive contribution to society. Tito Puente was on HBO little more than a month ago, banging on the salsa drums like a man half his age. A vibrant, still viable talent who was far from playing his last merengue. What was the last thing you did, Bob? Some commercial for Kmart where you're sitting in some diner holding a menu without a f***ing clue as to where you are? It's not that we don't appreciate all you've done, although those USO shows got to be a bit tedious after a while. And I admit I did think it was a little much to use war as a career move, but it got to be a tradition. And by the time you were dragging Brooke Shields over the Desert Storm, nobody had the heart to stop you. But I want to tell you, some of those gridiron specials you did where you'd wear a long blonde wig and pretend you were a woman were really f***ing embarrassing. It wasn't funny when Milton Berle did it, and it was really lame when you did. And by the way, if Uncle Milty were to check out here in the next couple of weeks, I wouldn't be all that broken up about that either. But I give him a little more respect because supposedly he's got the biggest penis in show business. Believe me, it's nothing personal. But if I could have made a deal with God, Tito Puente would still be with us, and you would have gone gently into a Dylan Thomas poem. I know the moral and spiritual problems involved in trying to barter one life for another, but I am willing to compromise. You can stick around until Willard Scott wishes you happy birthday if the good Lord will only just see fit to take Dick Clark. I want to see one of those bloopers, bleeps, and blunders where he's at the Golden Globes interviewing some vacuous starlet and then keels over off the platform into the press room. I'd give that a 95. It's got a good beat, and I would definitely dance to it.
Are you handy around the kitchen, Yvonne?
Oh, I think I am.
What kind of dishes do you like to prepare?
Oh, I love to prepare tacos, enchiladas, tamales, frijoles. They're wonderful.
What is tacos?
Oh, tacos is a delicious tortilla that you put lots of beans and olives, meat, and you fold it and you eat it. Oh, it's wonderful.
Your husband is a lucky man to have someone who can prepare all those tasty Mexican dishes. What is his favorite dish?
Sauerbraten.
Imus in the morning.
let the I-Man talk to you about Fujifilm Fine Pix 40. Washington's senior political analyst, the late Richard M. Nixon.
Shalom, Kingmaker in the morning. Congratulations, dude. Quite a feather in your butt, huh? Hat. Sorry. So you've done it again. Joseph I. Lieberman. An absolute cipher until you extended the hand of the Imus in the Morning program to him. Gave the youngster a couple of mercy bookings here. And the rest is history. Joseph I. Lieberman, yanked from the befogged perpetual night of total obscurity, the unknown senator, exposed to the light of day by John Donald Imus. And now look what's happened, eh? From Senator Who to Joe Lieberman, candidate for the vice presidency. From which, of course, should the Gore-Lieberman ticket actually win, God forbid, he'll be plunged right back into the total obscurity from which you rescued him, my dude. Relegated to running down the international obit page to arrange his official funeral attendee schedule. God, what a dope! Going from conscience of the Senate to the guy whose job description says, stand behind president and bang hands together to suggest enthusiasm. That ain't up if you're asking me. And especially, J.D., if the president you'd be standing behind is Al Gore, for God's sake. Houston to Lieberman, hello. Did you miss that little bit about the Buddhist temple? The guy's a crook. I mean, wasn't it about 10 minutes ago that the nation was congratulating our junior senator from Connecticut for telling Bubber Clinton to keep his trousers zipped? And now he agrees to be the running mate of Clinton's vice president? What's up with that? Maybe Gore wasn't hosing the help, but he sure as hell was hosing the country, wasn't he? Making the Democratic National Committee and the Oval Office wholly owned subsidiaries of about half of Asia. Oh, and another thing, as I continue my savvy analysis, dude, here's Joe Lieberman, unstinting critic of the dumbing down of the culture, all the movies and music based on hoes and bitches and the like, hooking up with the vice president of a guy, Clinton, who's positively attached at the pecker to Hollywood. It's practically his adopted hometown, for crying out loud. How the hell does the Gore ticket expect to get the Clinton DNA off it, man, when the Democrats are holding their convention in Los Angeles, California? Maureen Dowd hit it right in her very fine New York Times column the other day when she said, Al, baby, when your two weak points are a sex scandal and a fundraising scandal, do you guys really have to go to the capital of sex to fundraise? And, I now add, drag poor Joe Lieberman along with you? I mean, here's the senator castigating Hollywood for giving us Drek, and yet this coming Saturday night, Bill Clinton's being given a final farewell by gushing Tinseltown toadies. Everybody from Streisand to Travolta to Brad and Jennifer, $25,000 a clip, and every one of them is ready to make the official fawning transfer to Al Gore. That is the club Joe Lieberman wants to join? I must be having a nightmare. Well, at the risk of being branded just another tunnel vision GOP partisan, Dono, when things get this screwed up, just remember what Dick Nixon always says, okay? Friends don't let friends vote Democratic. Bad vibes in the old Dick scope today, J.D. From a man who knows a thing or two about imperfect presidencies, Dick Nixon, disgraced 37th president of the United States.
When it comes to video, you know, big is good. So check out the largest video, Mr. President.
And thank you, sir.
Yeah.
We're up here in Kennebunkport, Maine, and I just want to report fairly that Nance, on his own, shot the lights out on our course yesterday, fired a 71, a legitimate 71. And also, though, one good thing, he did bring me some of your brother's sauce. The Red Imus salsa.
Yeah.
Hell, I haven't felt that good since I threw up on the Prime Minister in Japan.
If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the morning.
Hi, man, look, I got to go, but I want to tell you something. Barbara and I listen to this thing in the morning up here, this program. We want to invite you to come to Kennebunkport, Maine, to go horseback riding. Seriously, we got a horse picked out for you. His name is Subliminal.
In the morning. Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
Copyright 2000 Infinity Broadcasting. Penis. All rights reserved. Imus in the Morning is a penis and a presentation of WFAN and Westwood One Entertainment.
Weekdays, it's Imus in the Morning from 5:30 to 10 on Sports Radio 66, WFAN, New York.
An Infinity Broadcasting Station. WFAN 2020 Sports.
Good morning, 10 o'clock. This is John Minko.
Dollar each sandwiches, drinks, desserts, or a side salad. It's your choice.
Every day only at McDonald's. With reports every 20 minutes, I'm Joe Tollison, WFAN 2020 Sports.
The 50,000-watt Clear Channel voice of Imus in the morning and Mike and the Mad Dog in the afternoon is The Fan. Sports Radio 66, WFAN New York.
With reports every 20 minutes, I'm Joe Tollison, WFAN 2020 Sports.
Listen to New York Giants football Sunday night when Big Blue faces the Arizona Cardinals. Giants Game Day gets our coverage underway at 7:05 with kickoff at 8:35. Exclusively on The Fan, Sports Radio 66, WFAN New York.
Sports Radio 66, The Fan, WFAN, New York.
12:22 here on The Fan.
He plays a bass, right? Or whatever he plays.
Bass, I believe bass.
Yeah, the guy is a very nice guy, tall, good-looking blonde guy who's buying a treadmill.
Yeah.
And so I'm over there at Omni Fitness with old Dwayne, I believe his name was. And so I bought a step mill, the Stairmaster step mill 5,000. I wanted the 7,000, but they said it's too big for, it doesn't fit my apartment in Manhattan. So, but I think I paid bust out retail, frankly.
Holy
It's just
cow.
irritating.
What are you talking about?
And I, Omni Fitness is a corporate sponsor of the Imus Ranch, but I
Right.
couldn't claim it was for the ranch because it's not.
Right.
I wouldn't do that anyway.
Right. No, I understand that.
But now, and then they say, and then I have to wait 2 weeks to get it. I mean, what is that?
That's outrageous. That is an outrage.
Why wouldn't these people cooperate with me? Why wouldn't somebody from Stairmaster or Omni Fitness say, well, this is the guy who does our commercials. Maybe we should.
Sounds to
it's
me
fine
like...
if we want to make him pay for it, which I will. To be serious, obviously I would pay for it.
Well,
but,
of course, but this sounds like they're just trying to irritate the I-Man.
Yeah, I mean, I just jerking my chin. I just don't need that.
Imus
in the morning, 2020 Sports with Warner Wolf. Man, what a weird-looking little dude.
You suck, Warner.
Good morning, Warner.
Good morning, I-Man. Turn your Packers off now.
Absolutely.
Out. Steve Berline, 22 for 37, 243 yards, 3 touchdowns. Carolina beat Green Bay 31-14. The Packers dropped to 5-7 and are no more. Brett Favre, 31 for 51, but had 3 interceptions. In the fourth quarter, trailing 24-14, Favre was intercepted and a fan in a Packer jacket ran on the field, as described by Westwood One's Howard Davis and Boomer Esiason.
Far back, throws it out to the right, and it's intercepted by Eric Davis.
What the heck
and
is
a
that?
fan comes running onto the field.
This guy ran right out into the middle of the field.
And the security guy missed the tackle. You have to be an out-and-out moron.
How about that?
Like running out in front of I-95 in the middle of traffic.
That's right. Or trying to talk to the I-Man in his office.
Why would you run on a football field with a bunch of guys jacked up on who knows what?
Right. You got to be drunk.
Come on, man. You got to be drunk.
Out. Both the Daily News and the New York Post say Mike Messina will sign with the Yankees 6-year deal, $14.5 million per year.
Oh, my God. We just saw carrying the guy away.
Oh, God.
It looks like you back in the 80s.
Oh,
What happened now?
oh, they showed the guy being carried off.
Oh, I mean on MSNBC?
Yeah, after he got nailed.
Oh, run it again. Let me see it.
Oh,
Go ahead, Warner.
Oh, okay. Now, of course, the same paper had Sammy Sosa signing with the Yankees this summer. If Messina did come to the Yankees, the big difference, he would have a bullpen and probably win 20 games instead of losing or getting no decisions with the Orioles. NBA, the Knicks pulled away from the Grizzlies and beat Vancouver 97-72.
Well, they creamed this guy on the... Man, he looked like he had just been... Did the players tackle him?
Yeah, he ran right in the middle of the action.
they didn't even see him.
He got hit.
During the game. I mean, that's the thing.
During a play? Live ball?
That's not a good idea.
You know, Mike Curtis tackled a guy for the old Colts, but it was in between plays. You got to be nuts to run on the field during a play.
Honest to God.
I mean, 22 monster guys, and you're running out there.
You don't think he had a couple of pops, do you?
Oh, no.
I bet you I can do it. I'll show you.
Yeah.
Where was this game? It was in Carolina, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Let me see the money. I'll go do it.
Yeah.
All right, you're 20. You're 20. Let me see your 20.
6 till the hour here on the Imus in the Morning. What else, Monica? Come
And
on.
finally, how about a recount on some of our great sporting events in the past?
Now, please don't do this to us. Go ahead.
Well,
Go ahead.
the Bears 73-0 win over the Redskins in
Sure.
19. We want a recount. How do we know the officials didn't lose track of the score?
Could have been.
Right? Joe DiMaggio's 56-game hitting streak.
Recount.
Well, how do we know?
At what point of the morning did you think this might
I
be a
just
good
thought
idea?
about it. It's fine.
One is like the guy that ran on the field. Just got smacked.
Strong drink is raging, and whosoever is deceived thereby is not wise. Out in the state of Arizona, a husband and wife had reared their children. The children had married off, families of their own. The mother took to drinking. She was 64 years of age. She came in one night so drunk she didn't know what she was doing and started to take a bath in the bathtub with her clothes on. In utter disgust, her husband said, "I ought to take a gun and blow your brains out." She snarled back at him, "You haven't got the nerve." He shot her dead in the bathtub and went to prison for it. Fine way to end married life. You say it'll never happen to you? They said the same thing before it happened to them.
Imus in the morning.
Here's a partial list of stuff you can get at Steve Brill's new online store called ContentVille.com.
Power play goal, Mark Messier. Leaps on the left point. Sits towards the net. Bouncy puck. Columbus scores on the feed from Nedved.
New York Rangers hockey is brought to you by Chrysler, by U.S. Airways with flights to 13 different tropical islands, and by Geico. One 15-minute phone call could save you 15% or more in car insurance. Call 1-800-947-AUTO. Geico Direct, the sensible alternative.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to New York Rangers hockey. From Madison Square Garden, the Rangers host the Los Angeles Kings. Kenny Albert, along with Sal Messina.
On headline issues of the day, Imus in Washington, senior political analyst, the late and quite dead Richard M. Nixon.
Indeed, indeed. And thank you very much for finally seeking my counsel in these extraordinary circumstances our nation is facing. Imus in the morning. I'll be brief. Good. You. As you're aware, being a student of political history yourself, I, too, confronted extraordinary events during one period of my years in public service.
Yeah, you got impeached.
Nearly got impeached, Dono. Instead, I chose the more noble course. When Nick Nixon encountered an untenable situation in his presidency,
You got the out.
I got the out. I did not choose the dangerous course Vice President Al Gore has embarked upon in his struggle with Governor George W. Bush. Nick Nixon faced facts. He saw the hounds arrayed before him. He did not want their rapacious jaws clinging to his ass, so he got the out. Now our nation again faces the specter of constitutional crisis, although, in my view, an artificial crisis, fostered, nurtured, and given its subsistence, I'm sure you'll agree, by the most transparent, grasping, power-mad lowlife our federal government's ever seen.
Al Gore.
Hell no. Joe Lieberman. Good Lord. Has Beanie Bopper revealed himself to be the ultimate slime ball or what? Talk about being willing to compromise everything, J.D. What's next for this guy? Department store Santa? Plays an angel in a manger scene? He's got his nose buried so far up Al Gore's butt, he's going to be able to see Tom Daschle and Dick Gebhardt if he's not careful. Now, no, this whole matter has now gone from the sublime to the ridiculous. We've had the election, the protest phase, the contest phase. So now what? The tantrum phase? Hey, you egomaniacs, how about the exit phase? The moving vans are in front of the mansion, get the hell out phase. You know, Gore keeps saying in those ponderous, condescending, pious tones that this is all about principle. Then why in God's name don't you act on principle, you overbearing bastard, and get out while you have any principle left? You lost the election, Tobacco Boy. Get over it. And please, drop the lame flag bit. Yeah. Have you seen both these guys, Gore and Bush, trying to outflag each other in those idiotic photo ops? I'm thinking we're 5 minutes from one of them showing up in an Uncle Sam suit. Well, like you, Dono, I'm sick of both of them. But be that as it may, one of them won and one of them lost. And I don't give a damn what the undercount or overcount or sideways count says. The certified count, for about the 50th time, says Bush. By the way, Is Warren Christopher all right, I meant? Well, I mean, we know he wasn't getting it done. Just look at the polls. But no one seems to have seen him for several days. And you know how judgmental these Clinton-Gore people can be when things go awry. Well, you get my drift, to quote the Florida Supreme Court Chief Justice? Jesus, there's a judicial scholar, huh? Well, anyway, I just hope old Warren hasn't, had a date with an artillery piece in a park somewhere or something. Anywho, time for, I don't know, maybe Barbra Streisand and Alec Baldwin to pick up the phone and call Al Gore and give the boy the news. Your country hates you. Get that sappy daughter, your saccharine wife, your running mate in Hadassah, and move to Canada. So, what do we learn today, Dono? As I see it, not a lot more than this. While they both might have dimples, hanging Chad and hung Chad are two distinctly different matters. In that vein, may I conclude, Dick loves Bush. Savvy post-election analysis in the old Dick Scope today, I dude, by a man well-schooled in all these affairs. Dick Nixon, the 37th President of the United States.
In the morning.
Introducing the all-new 215-horsepower Lexus IS. The new IS offers Formula One racing-inspired E-Shift transmission. The BMW 330i does not. But hey, sometimes the old ways are the best ways. The new IS offers radical chronograph-style instrumentation. The BMW does not. So what? Some people like beige cardigan sweaters. However, independent testing has proven the new IS outslaloms and outcorners the 330i. Even during evasive maneuvering, the new Lexus IS beat the BMW. Test drive an IS at your New York, New Jersey, Connecticut Lexus dealer. Starting at only $31,350. The new IS. Sufficiently radical.
Certified tests on A2000 by AMCI of 2001 IS 300 and 2001 BMW 330i automatic sedans equipped with standard 17-inch wheels and tires. MSRP including delivery, processing, and handling fee excludes taxes, title, license, and optional equipment. Actual dealer price may vary.
Pat Summerall for my Duck's bed. That's DUX. As you sleep on...
to see who's walking through the news channels.
This is just...
I mean, this is ridiculous.
Stupid. 16 till the hour here on the Imus Morning program. I was having to reprimand Lloyd McNichol during the traffic portion of the local portion of our program because while she was in the newsroom, she and that goof Warner Wolf and that new moron we hired to do...
Wait a minute. What are you doing? Serial murderer?
Christy McNichol.
Yeah,
I don't know what her name is.
Christy
Christy Carlo. They're all...
Excellent job.
Yeah, she is doing a good job, isn't she?
Yes.
Yeah, she is doing a good job. But I don't... And who's the new tape guy? What a geek he is, huh?
He's an excellent tape guy, Dave.
Loser.
Who cares what he looks like?
So I was just saying to Warner, we're going to do sports in a little bit here. I was just saying I just can't get anybody jacked up about... I can't even get jacked up about my Oakland Raiders, so...
Your Oakland Raiders? Whoa! What do you mean, your Oakland Raiders?
What is that?
What's this Oakland Raiders thing?
Since they're 10-2? That's my team, the Oakland Raiders. I thought you knew that.
What happened to the Washington Redskins? That's your team.
They suck.
But that was your team. Abandoning them?
Yes, they suck. They're awful.
Yeah, but you said the Redskins all the way. Super Bowl.
Absolutely. You said through thick or thin.
Yeah, you said, mark my words, now, September, before the season.
I'm announcing the Washington Redskins are my team for this season.
On record.
I don't remember saying that.
That's on record.
Well, I remember vaguely making some reference to the fact that I like them, but...
Emphatically.
Weak.
Well...
Lame.
You cannot abandon
we had on my new program Imus and Chris and Boomer in the huddle. We had the coach of the Oakland Raiders on. I liked him.
Yeah.
That's my new team. The Washington Redskins suck, and I'm not going to support them anymore. The owner's a little loser.
Loyalty.
Good. Great.
What a worm. Well, I don't think he is a worm at all.
No, you're a worm.
Oh, I see.
Yo, this is a song for all of my critics. Yo, Dre, give me a little more bass here. I'm gonna kick it old school. I know my big forehead makes me look kind of funny, and I sound like Dick Cavett crossed with Ben Stein's money. But I'm noble, high-minded with standards and morals, so one thing's for sure, I won't be getting oral. Came out against Bubba for fooling with Monica. I don't sport payas, but I do have a yarmulke. I like noodle kugel and kosher knishes. Keep everything kosher with 2 sets of dishes. The filth in the media, you know I'll run down and get it all done before Friday at sundown. With class and with style and appropriate etiquette. Cause like Martha Stewart, I hail Dietl from Connecticut. Can't be unorthodox because I'm religious. I believe public office is something prestigious. Don't act in a way that would cause me embarrassment. Never accused of sexual harassment. No party animal because I don't get drunk. Didn't try to scam money off no Buddhist monks. I don't do coke. Ain't a fan of tobacco. Don't have a fat wife or a brother who's wacko. I never say nothing to cause me discredit. Can swear on the Bible because I've actually read it. You always can count on my best behavior, and now you are wondering who is this savior. I am Senator Joe Lieberman, and I am a member of the tribe of Abraham. I can't eat bacon or Virginia ham, but I'm hotter than a latke in a frying pan. I am Joseph I. Lieberman, and you know my reputation is spick and span. Hi, man, I hope you know that I'm your biggest fan, because I'll only be elected if you say I can. Just like the Old Testament, I'm burning bush, because I want to knock W back on his tush. My big claim to fame is in trying to tame all the violence in movies and video games. To help gut the smut, I promoted the V-chip. In rap music lyrics, I lean towards censorship. So in a way, I'm kind of like Tipper, but I won't get fat, because I fast on Yom Kippur. I love my wife, but you won't have to see me slip her the tongue on national TV. I don't fight dirty, I ain't a mudslinger. Nothing up my nose except maybe my finger. No patience for lawbreakers, tough on the criminals. I know how to pronounce big words like subliminal. I may be a geek, but I sure ain't a dork. And I don't have no heart trouble, cause I can't eat pork. Clean air is all that I will ever inhale. I'll get rid of the deficit buying wholesale. I'll make Rosh Hashanah a national holiday. And now you wanna know whose is this resume? I am Senator Joe Lieberman, and I am a member of the tribe of Abraham. I can't eat bacon or Virginia ham, but I'm hotter than a latke in a frying pan. I am Joseph I. Lieberman, and you know my reputation is spick and span. Hi, man, I hope you know that I'm your biggest fan, because I'll only be elected if you say I can. Well, homies, I'm Audi 5000. Thanks, I-Man. See you November 7th. Word to your mom.
Imus in the morning, 2020 Sports with Warner Wolf. Welcome, Warner. Nice to see you. Good to have you. Very kind of you to stop by. A pleasure.
Yes.
Thanks again. Thanks for coming by.
That'll be fine, David. Good morning, Warner. Good morning, I-Man. Forget the home court advantage. NBA last night, the home team lost 7 out of the 9 games, with only the Lakers and Dallas winning at home. The Nets made it 0 for 7 years against the Jazz, losing their 12th straight to Utah since January of 94, 98-92. Karl Malone had 21 points and is now only 75 points away from tying Wilt Chamberlain's career point total. The Lakers 5 in a row beat the Pacers 124-107. 37 for Kobe Bryant. The Shaq played only 3 quarters, then took the night off, had 27 points, 14 boards, was 3 out of 8 from the foul line. And the Heat blew a 22-point lead in the 4th quarter at home and lost to the Bucks 102-101 on Sam Cassell's 3-pointer with 1 second left.
Moron.
Here's Ted Davis of WTMJ.
Cassell for 3. Got it! 9/10 of a second to go. Bucks have gone in front. Here come the Heat from midcourt. Hardaway, no good. Bucks win. Bucks win.
The Bucks win. So the Heat and Knicks will play in New York tonight. First time in years that neither Ewing nor Alonzo Mourning will play for either team. Good. Tim Hardaway, by the way, gets an extra $250,000 every week for 24 weeks if he steps on the scale and weighs less than 200 pounds. Pretty good incentive.
Only in America.
$250,000.
Good Lord. All right.
The 3-12 Atlanta Hawks beat... The 3-12 Atlanta Hawks beat the Wiz by 27. The Washington Wiz are giving the Wiz a bad name because obviously you can beat the Wiz. I mean, come on. And if you had the Cleveland Cavaliers and thought they would score more than 4 points in the second quarter, you lost. The Cavaliers, a franchise-low 4 points in the second quarter, and lost to the Celtics 87-72. Here's Cavaliers coach Randy Whitman on the Cavs' second quarter.
You know, I can't put my finger on exactly
what happened in the second quarter. I don't know what the right word is. Scared.
Scared?
Sure.
Come on, you're a pro team. What's scared? 32 players on the ballot for this year's Baseball Hall of Fame. The two guys with the best shot, Dave Winfield, over 3,000 hits, 475 homers, and Kirby Puckett, 318 lifetime, 12 years, 1,000 RBIs.
Remember Kirby Puckett?
Yeah.
Man, what a weird-looking little dude he was, wasn't he?
Yes, he was. Absolutely.
Almighty. Good grief. That's a fugly-looking little dude.
Career cut short. Yeah. Well, here's a new one. Mets reliever Turk Wendell says he loves baseball so much he'll play 1 year for free. Wendell wants $3 million per year for 3 years, and then he'll pitch free in the year 2004. The Mets say, wait a minute, bozo, we have a better idea. Why don't you play free for 3 years, and then we'll pay you for the 4th year if you're still around. And as the I-Man says, turn your thermostats off now. It's likely to be 10 degrees or less in Green Bay 3 weeks from Sunday, when Tampa, 0-18, playing in temperatures less than 39 degrees, play in Green Bay, where Brett Favre is 25-0 at home under 35 degrees. The word is Tampa Bay coach Tony Dungy will become the first NFL coach in history to take his team to practice in Anchorage, Alaska, and have them work out in shirts and shorts, so it will seem like 60 degrees in Green Bay.
Gotcha.
Get him out. And finally, the new XFL football Chicago Enforcers franchise want 41-year-old Jim McMahon to come out of retirement and be a player coach. Can Otto Graham be far behind?
Way to play Christopher Reeve.
Jeez. For Imus in the Morning Sports, this is Warner Wolf.
6 minutes till the hour here on the Imus in the Morning program. The Auto Body Express, sponsored by Nikon, opens in 6 minutes out in Santa Fe. And big new deal, thanks to me, putting pressure on Bob.
Yeah.
You buy anything from the ABX, anything. You get a free bag of Imus Brothers coffee or an Imus Brothers coffee mug, 1-800-272-1957. And they clearly hosed down old Catherine Harris because the girl looked pretty good last night, didn't she? She looked great, in fact.
Yeah, she did.
She looked like what she is, a millionaire fooling around in government. So
She looked posable.
yes,
Yeah.
she did.
She did.
That's fine.
Eminently so.
If she were a turkey and you were Wilford Brimley, a match made in heaven.
You could leave the legs attached.
You can leave the legs attached. That's right.
If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the Morning.
Morning, Mr. Russer.
Good morning, you big dimpled swinging Chad, you.
I saw John Kerry and John Warner with Larry King, and man, Warner looks like out of Madame Tussauds. I don't know why.
Let me, John, when I saw you this morning without your hat, I thought you were a justice on the Florida Supreme Court.
You follow my trio?
Imus in the morning. Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
Department line 3, department line 30.
Hey, is that a new Outback?
Yes, sir. Avenue Electronics, looking for home audio, video, and mobile electronics without the blank stares you get at most superstores? Join the fun at December 2nd, grand opening of the latest 6th Avenue Electronics store on Route 1 North, Woodbridge, New Jersey. With reports every 20 minutes, Rich Ackerman, WFAN 2020 Sports.
It's Imus in the morning from 5:30 to 10, and Mike and the Mad Dog in the afternoon, here on the Fan. Sports Radio 66, WFAN, New York.
What's your worst holiday
With Andy Rooney. Andy?
Well, a fine mess you've gotten us into this time, Stanley. Have you been following the Florida Follies? Here's its essence, I think. Bush to Gore. Give me the keys. Gore to Bush. Fight me. It's not a lot more complicated than that, although they're doing their damnedest to make it look like it is. For instance, what's with Florida's dog food and trifocal set? It's going to take a lot more than some political hack's 3-card Monty prescription drugs plan to fix up these people. Forget osteoporosis and bladder urgency issues. Somehow, we've developed an older generation so decrepit they can't summon the strength to poke a hole in a piece of paper with a sharpened stick. We're complaining because some felons voted? Well, at least they voted. We disenfranchised the wrong inmates. Penitentiaries in, nursing homes out. Maybe along with mandatory retirement at age 65, we ought to think about including mandatory dirt nap. Bush would go for that, judging from the rate at which Texas slips the old Carla Faye Tucker juice to anybody who so much as jaywalks down there. There's an undervote if I ever heard one. Underground. How's all this going to turn out? If it were up to me, I'd say screw both of them and just appoint Clinton president for life, like they do in those Congo countries no one can pronounce. But that's not going to happen. The lawyers will see to that. We'll wind up with one of these geniuses to piss us off every 5 minutes for the next 4 years. Have you seen the legal teams, by the way? In New York the other day, they had what they called the Rat Summit. Turns out it was the mayor and a bunch of hobnobs talking about the city's rodent infestation. When I first heard it, I thought they were talking about Tallahassee's lawyer infestation. You can't turn around down there without somebody trying to slap a neck brace on you. It would take from now until the sun explodes to look at all the attorneys who've swarmed the place, so let's just check out the two at the top. I've got their photographs here. This fellow is not, as Imus in the Morning has dubbed him, Professor Irwin Corey. This is the famous David Boies, consigliere to the heaviest of the heavyweights, Al Gore in this case. I know he looks like he's one reversed judgment away from delivering an oration from a refrigerator carton, but he's not. No, this is the guy, dear listener, who Reginald Denny'd Bill Gates. He gets, on a bad day, $650 an hour. No disrespect intended for your legendary legal skills, Mr. Boies, but for those of us looking in on TV, could you please stop showing up in court looking like a defendant? Enough with the if you can't afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you thing. It's lame. Buy a suit from someplace other than Goodwill, put on a pair of big boy shoes, and comb your hair. You look like you ought to be walking around handing out the Watchtower. Oh, and maybe, after that bogus Illinois Supreme Court dimpled ballot bullshit you got sucked in on, you might want to hire a fact checker. Oh, did I say hair a moment ago? Check this out. This is a photograph of the Bush team's lead barrister, Barry Richard. Nice shoes. Suit looks like it might have cost more than $250 at Walmart. Shirt fits. Decent tie. Let's work our way up above neck level. No, on second thought, let's not. Is this Barry Richard or Barry Manilow? When's the last time anybody saw a pompadour like that? I think I know. Doo-wop reunion night at the Palladium. He was third from the right in the Dell Vikings. You sound smart, Barry, so why do you get your hair done by a street sweeper? Well, I don't know what's going to happen down there in our Sunshine State. After all, there's just no way to predict the progeny of a cluster. I'm sure you'll agree. But have we learned anything? Yes. Judging from our exposure to all these legal eagles, don't ever try to tell this reporter that I'm a fool if I choose to defend myself.
Imus in the Morning.
It is 4 minutes now till the hour. Here's a partial list of stuff you can get from Steve Brill's new online store called Content Vic, who invites you to experience the brilliance and clarity of high-definition television, but be warned, you'll never be satisfied with regular TV again. HD TV made possible by Panasonic. With reports every 20 minutes, Rich Ackerman, WFAN 2020 Sports.
It's Imus in the Morning, followed by your chance to talk sports all day long here on the Fan. Sports Radio 66, WFAN New York.
They were newlyweds, just back from their honeymoon. They found the home of their dreams and came to me.
Home for Mike and the Mad Dog, weekday afternoons from 1 to 6:30.
So there I was.
Sports Radio 66, the Fan. WFAN, New York.
We're back. 718-937-6666 is our telephone number. Stevie Cohn joins us later this hour from his sprawling estate in the rolling hills of northern Westchester County. We're talking to him about the Giants and football in general. Up until then, we can talk about anything you like. Jets and Giants, both with critical games this weekend. We can talk about the Mets and what they have to do. The Yankees probably are done making major moves, although, you know, you never know with them.
Silver bells.
Don't do this.
Silver bells. It's Christmas time for the I-Man. Ring-a-ling. Hear them sing. Hope this will be his last one. Thrown off horses, lungs collapsing, and the I-Man's in pain. Gives his staff the feeling of Christmas.
wicked back pain, trouble breathing, trips to intensive care, and their holiday wishes come true. Silver bells go to hell. It's Christmas time for the I-Man. Ring-a-ling, hear them sing. Soon it will be his last day.
Here now, live from Atlanta, Steak Shapiro. Good morning, Steak.
I was worried there. Actually heard 5 minutes of entertaining, funny conversation after the Nina Totenberg dance party. That was tough to follow. For crying out loud, you really got to get over yourself, man.
What's the matter?
Your unbridled enthusiasm for how you spent your weekend is... It's troublesome.
The wheels are about to come off this country if we don't get this thing straightened out. You better wake up.
Who says you don't know how to rip it up anymore, man? Sitting around 12 hours a day drinking apple juice watching Florida statutes get argued. You're a madman.
Well.
Yeah, that's why I call Charles every 2 minutes. Hey, Charles, did you see that? That was awesome.
Imus in the morning.
Yeah, what a jerk. All right, let me talk to you about Seeger Weiss again. These are these lawyers.
Imus in the morning.
The president answered, it's an early Christmas miracle. Breen's back, Breen's back, Breen's back. I couldn't be any happier, except I'm kicking myself that it didn't happen sooner. I mean, when I saw how easy it was to overpower Warner Wolf and Patrick McEnroe and tie him up in my basement, Breen could have been back in the year this summer. It was so easy. I mean, Warner was a cinch because he's kind of on the small side, but McEnroe put up a little bit of a fight. The only way I finally got him in my trunk was I discovered he seems to be attracted to shiny objects, so I stuck a mirror in there, and when he crawled in to get a better look at himself, I slammed the door in his head. I don't know if Breen knows it or not, but he's back to stay because neither Warner nor McEnroe are going to be going anywhere for a while because I got 50 cases of duct tape and a lot of free time in my hands, and part of that time I spent digging holes in my backyard, if I know what I mean. Because if I had my own video phone, who the best time is in the morning, sports guy was, and everybody agrees it's Breen, 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 Breeny, Breen. And I don't have to do any hand recount, I can tell you that. I was certified this to be official because it was unanimous. All 500 people say Breen, and the reason I know is they told me themselves because they're all the voices who live inside my head.
Mark from Milwaukee here in the Imus Wine program. It's 29 after the hour. Here's the chief legal affairs correspondent now for NBC News, Dan Abrams. Good morning, Mr. Abrams.
The problem is Mark just said everything I was going to say.
So I saw you briefly. I was so worn out that by the time...
Talking on the phone is not my speed. Don't send me no letter cause I can't read. Don't be long cause I be gone. We gon' rock and roll long night long cause I'm ready. I'm willing. And I'm Imus in the morning.
I stand beside a veritable...
Imus in the morning 2020 sports. Here's Mark Breen.
I'm a loser. I'm a loser.
Redskins drop another. Good morning. Mike Breen with sports, filling in for Warner and Patrick. The preseason favorite to make a run at the Super Bowl, now in danger of missing the playoffs as the Redskins lose to the Giants 9-7, fall to 7-6 on the season. Their wide receiver, Irving Fryer, summed it up best.
We stepped backwards today. We didn't step up. We were backwards. We did not go forward today. We did not do better than we did last week. We did worse than we did last week, so we did not take a step forward.
No, well, I think you made your point, Irving.
That's what I'm saying. Couldn't put it any better myself.
Good, dizzy right now.
Meanwhile, Norv Turner's job in jeopardy. Apparently, owner Daniel Snyder going over a list of possible successors last night. Turner not only has to deal with idiot fans and the most annoying owner in the history of the league, had to hear this question at his post-game press conference.
Do you think you could be fired? Pardon me? Do you think you could be fired this week? You're asking the wrong guy that question.
Chris Collinsworth has it right about the Washington Redskins. You got a bunch of old guys there trying to suck another ball.
Go, Tony. Meanwhile, Giants now in first place since Jim Fossil made his playoff guarantee a few weeks ago. They are 2-0. That is a leader of men. New York Jet fans also delirious. Their team beat the Colts 27-17 at the Meadowlands. Colts Jim Mora tried to keep a positive attitude despite the loss.
We couldn't do diddly poo offensively. We couldn't make a first down. We couldn't run the ball. We didn't try to run the ball. We couldn't complete a pass. We sucked.
Yeah, they may miss the playoffs as well, as the Jets are now 9-4.
Whose fault is it they didn't try to run the football? Who's calling the plays?
Peyton Manning.
Well, why don't you say to Peyton, I got a good idea here. Get to fat center, first of all, to hold on to the ball.
Right. Jets meanwhile 1 game back of Miami, who obliterated Buffalo 33-6 up in Buffalo.
For very short a time, we have to get Bo in.
No, this is my one-time visit here.
Excuse me, it's my 50th birthday, and I've been laying outside for 15 friggin' minutes.
Do you have a gun on you?
Yes, I do.
All right, go ahead. I'm fine. You can go on. Press on, please.
Mike's done? Bo Dietl goes to the movies. Well, are you about done, aren't you?
Yes, I'm done.
Okay. It's great to see you, and I'm begging you to come back.
Can I come back at the 9 o'clock hour?
Come back anytime you want.
We
All right,
love
believe me,
you,
I'm
Mike.
telling you, I'm so sick of these other two. I hate both of them. I hate them. I hate them. And they know how I am, and I just hate them.
We love you, Mike.
We didn't realize, we did realize how good you were. Of course we
Absence
did.
makes the heart grow fonder.
Well, that's not true. We knew, but you left because the big TV thing, but...
Yeah.
Mike, huh? What happened?
The door's always open.
Hey, by the way, how's Marv behaving out on the road? He's not biting on nobody dressed up in underwear hiding behind the door and stuff, is he?
What's wrong with you?
Did he
Well, I don't
change
know.
that wig he's got?
Leave him alone now. Don't you try to embarrass Mike.
Don't you try to embarrass Mikey.
Is he behaving himself, or do you know?
He's been great.
Okay. So are we checking on him? Anybody checking on him?
He hasn't been arrested anyway. Show tunes coming out of the room?
You ever walk by his room and hear Bye-Bye Birdie or Oklahoma or something?
Ever leave a bullet, bro, in the plane?
Bo Dietl goes to the movies.
Madame Succo's S&M parlor over there at Oakland.
Bo Dietl goes to the movies
with Mom.
and some cheesy restaurant sponsored by Soleil Water, but more importantly, it's Bo's 50th birthday. And there are a lot of people in New York City who never thought you'd make it to 50. So.
Well, that's what I felt, too. I really am happy to...
But happy birthday. On a serious note, happy birthday, and I
Thank
hope you have at least 50 more or 20 more.
I'll take it.
25 more.
Oh, yeah.
At least 30 more.
Sure.
Yeah.
Hey.
So,
But,
which movie did you see?
Well,
For example, we have very little
Okay,
time.
we got a little problem here. Last night I'm sitting up in Mateo's with Mike the Russian.
Where?
And, Mateo's, the Willis Avenue. We reviewed that restaurant, great restaurant. I'm sitting up there and I got the Daily News. We're going to go see Men of Honor. I got Al Tomatoes there, Ali Wilder. He's the tomato man. Tomato don't move in here. We're going over prices with this squash,
Now, wait a minute.
winter squash.
What do you mean a
roll.
tomato doesn't move in here?
No, I mean he's the biggest produce guy in the world.
Well, what if I had some tomatoes I wanted to bring in?
Well, then you got to go to Al's company there in Hunts Point.
What
Otherwise,
if
they
you
don't
don't
come
feel
in.
like it?
Well, then your tomatoes will get very rotten-tated, and they'll sit in some friggin' boxcar somewhere. Al moves tomatoes, everything's fresh. You got celery that's crisp-potated, and now we're talking about broccoli rabe. So I look at the Daily News. We're gonna go see Men of Honor. So I said, all right, we got 10 o'clock show. Mike the Russian says, okay, Bo, we'll go see Men of Honor. It's supposed to be a very good movie. So we run to the one movie theater, closed. The Daily News has it the timetable there. We run to the next movie theater, closed. 2 movie theaters are closed, so we got to just do the restaurant. I heard Men of Honor is pretty good, but I didn't see it, so I have no real movie, and I'm going to be honest. What the hell else you want me to do? You want me to come here and lie? I don't lie. I tell the truth. I didn't see no friggin' movie. I was supposed to go see last night at 10 o'clock, and the Daily News had it in their timetable.
Well, why do you wait till the last minute to... Don't blame the Daily News.
No. I do it every Sunday. I go see a movie because I want it fresh in my mind.
The mob own all these movie theaters?
Well, I don't know who owns all these movie theaters, but they're not
you're
there.
talking to me.
But we got to talk about the restaurant because the restaurant's still good.
Heard it was good.
You heard of Jordan Lobsters right out of Brooklyn? One of the oldest lobster places.
Is this another deal now? This guy
Soleil
named...
Water. No, they have Soleil Water there.
So you can't get a lobster in New York without some guy signing off on it?
Put a claw.
Tony Tomatoes and Bobby Lobster?
No, put a claw in your jaw for the holidays. You get your lobsters there, and what happens is the boats come in, the lobsters are fresh, they're still snap-a-dating. They've opened the restaurant there, so if you want real fresh lobster, you go over to Sheepshead Bay over in Brooklyn. You go in there to the restaurant. It's called Jordan's Restaurant. You start off with a little Manhattan clam chowder. It was excellent. Then you go into the lobster dinner, but their best thing they ever had. I've never tasted
Very
anything like
dangerous
this.
to eat shellfish.
No, not these shellfish. These shellfish come from the very fresh waters of the North Atlantic, where it regurgitates through the skin there, and the meat is fresh. Key lime pie. You've heard of key lime pie. You've never had key lime pie.
You ever had it made out of tofu?
Don.
Oh, it's good. I'm saying,
I'm with my son last night, little Richie. He's cooking. He's making macaronis with this green crap, right? It's seaweed.
Shouldn't eat fish.
And it's
kind.
dark, and it's like a tofu composite.
It's cancer causing.
And he looked like a slug. It looked like a slug, and he eats it. My son Richie likes all that tofu stuff. So, Jordan Lobster.
You know what I like about the Soleil Water people?
What?
That you know in their spring in Lombardy, Italy, they actually have the spring. Why are you licking your lips? What's the matter?
Why?
You're not high on something, are you?
No, do you have something?
No.
Oh.
They have their spring fenced off.
This is important.
This is important.
Yeah.
Did you know this?
I didn't know that.
No.
All I know is that...
So that animals can't, so some bear can't go down there and pinch off a loaf in a spring and winds up in your solar water bottle. Have you ever seen a big old bear turd in a bottle of solar water?
No.
The answer is no, you have not.
No.
Why? Well, because they've
taken
precautions.
But you got these other water companies that are wide open, and you're saying that the bears could turditate in there, or the birds could come by and do some tropitation.
They could definitely turditate in some of these other water springs.
I'm going to tell you something. With this water, just to get off the water real fast.
10 seconds.
Okay. Solar water, every place I bring it to, they have a fizzy one and a flat one.
Right.
The fizzy one ain't that, don't burn you going down. It's just, it's so good when you drink it.
Happy birthday.
Every restaurant wants it. And Don, it's my 50th birthday. I've been with you for 12 years. I hope I make another 12 years,
I'm
Don.
sure you will.
And please don't keep me outside for 15 minutes like that. I don't know what to do anymore. I'm very upset.
Well, we got an election to cover. You got to wake up and smell the coffee here.
I want to smell Bush.
I'm sure you do.
Thank you.
All right. Let me talk to you about Cablevision now. You know, all the time you've been spending on the internet, he actually didn't mean to say that. Which is most remarkable. Cablevision has got this new deal called Optimum Online. It's the fastest connection to the internet available on the planet. Optimum Online, the cable-powered high-speed internet service from Cablevision. And best of all, if you are a Cablevision customer, Optimum Online is already in your home. It's delivered over the same wire that carries your cable television, so it's fast, really fast. I'm getting it up there in Connecticut, by the way. The same, I ordered it from Cablevision and from the Whiz people, but that doesn't mean I'm going to get it. It means I'm going to get a bill, another bill for 40 grand. Bunch of crooks. Anyway, going to the Whiz right now, spend $100 on anything. They have 42 Whiz stores, pretty good outfit, in fact, great outfit. I mean, I bought all this stuff from them, so I must like them. You get a free I don't know, just go. I'm sick of talking about it. Just go to the Whiz and talk to somebody there about Cablevision owns the Whiz, you see. So they can hook you up with the Optimum Online deal. They'll give you a $300 modem for nothing if you'll sign up for this stuff for 2 years. So, I mean, that's a good deal. Well, have you seen what's going on in the market? Well, of course you have. So, the wheels are about to come off. You know, I mean, not good. A lot more serious than people think, I think. Now, the people at Buy and Hold, at buyandhold.com, that's their deal. They have a fairly simple philosophy, and that is that you should buy stocks in companies whose products you use and names you trust, and it pretty much is the philosophy of Warren Buffett. Now, not too many people smarter than old Warren, and it worked for Berkshire Hathaway, it'll work for you. So, click on them, buyandhold.com, BUYANDHOLD.com, and it costs you $2.99 every time you trade something, so you're not going to go broke doing that. And it frankly makes a lot of sense. So if you can't see that, why, then you need to call Dr. Joseph Della Russo. Get that laser vision thing on your eyeballs. You've been told that you can't have blind spot laser vision or just laser vision correction because you have what is called farsighted or mixed astigmatism, or that you're not a candidate because you have severe astigmatism. They're able to address that in many cases, but you need to call Dr. Joseph Della Russo, who personally does all these procedures. He's done 18,000 of them in the past few years. 18,000. So call him at 212-722-9200 in Manhattan, or just from any place, 1-800-35-NJ-EYE, Dr. Joseph Della Russo.
Interested in showcasing your high technology business to thousands of New York decision makers and consumers alike? Then join WFAN as they bring you the Opus 360 Bite of the Big Apple, presented by Microsoft, January 20th and 21st at the Madison Square Garden Expo Center. The Bite will include a wide array of new technology.
We have a Robert Downey Christmas this year. It's a Robert Downey Christmas. There's so many reds and greens. We've got snow, it's primo blow, and amphetamines. It's a Robert Downey Christmas. Look what's in
you're talking to Kevin.
This report brought to you by Radio Shack, and right now, when you buy select cellular phones and sign up for service with Verizon Wireless, you'll get a $75 mail-in gift card toward almost anything in the store. Restrictions apply. Radio Shack. With reports every 20 minutes, this is John McCo, WFAN 2020 Sports.
Go to bed with Knicks basketball and Rangers hockey. Then wake up with Imus in the morning from 5:30 to 10 a.m. here on The Fan. Sports Radio 66, WFAN New York.
Hillshire Farm is in search.
Thank you. Imus in the morning. As we move forward through day whatever of Armageddon on hold. You gotta love all this, don't you? I mean, looking at Al Gore, does the mere fact that I'm dead disqualify me? Well, I don't think so. And forget however the U.S. Supreme Court decision eventually affects things. Means nothing. Because clearly, we are now dealing with a psycho who is undeterred by anything. Here's how this is going to turn out, J.D., with the Vice President of the United States in a hostage situation at the home of Alien Gonzalez's Miami relatives, threatening to shoot Maris Lesa unless somebody starts counting ballots, and starts counting them now, damn it. Trust me, he is never going away. I don't care what he told Leslie Stahl on 60 Minutes the other night. He's conceding nothing to nobody. He snapped. He honestly and truly believes he won. Is that what we want in the highest office of the land? A guy who's delusional? I'm telling you, Dono, he wants this so much, he'll burrow his way into the White House like a friggin' mole, if that's what it takes. Here's another thing I want to know. At this stage in the process, when he's been asking us to recount the recount of the recount, how the hell would you divine the intention of the voter from ballots that, by this point, have got to look like cheesecloth? But, by God, if a way can be concocted, Al Gore's going to find it. You can bet on that, I-Man. I have never, outside of the infectious microbial disease world, encountered anything as sinisterly objectionable as our tyrant from Tennessee. You ever happen to lift up the sump drain in your basement and see a bunch of those shiny bugs all scattered from the light? The Gore family. I cannot stand the thought of having Robo-President talk to me for the next 4 years like the White House was in Mr. Rogers' neighborhood. And yet here's the dilemma. I may have to figure out some way to stomach it, because the alternative is 4 years of listening to a guy who needs every third phrase explained by a United Nations interpreter. Have you seen Junior down there in the ranch trying to project this image of authority? Is that pathetic or what? How do you project authority if you can't complete a sentence? I'll tell you how, apparently. You project it while sitting on the lap of Dick Cheney. God almighty, that poor bastard. They just had to run belt sanders through his arteries, and yet Team Bush has him dashing around like he was Michael Johnson on crack. Is that the way a Bush administration's going to work? With Dick Cheney's hand up Junior's butt, pulling the strings? Well, actually, if it comes to that, I hope so. We can't have a moron running the show. I'd rather have the delusional guy. Did you catch Trent Lott and Speaker Hastert at the ranch doing their yeehaw bit? What the hell was that supposed to project? The majority leader with his Barney Frank model cowboy hat. And what was that stuck on the brim? An ostrich plume? Hello? The anti-Jesse James, for crying out loud. And Speaker Hastert, my God, he looked like somebody had thrown a windbreaker over an ox. I mean, I know Hastert's nickname is Denny, but come on. Yo, Denny, the title is Speaker of the House, not Eater of the House. Yeah. Jesus. And these are the people who would hold our nation's future? Here's my question then, Dono. Is it too late for me to get a recount? There you go, I-Man. Dick Rising in the old Dick Scope today. The return of Dick Nixon, the once and perhaps future president of the United States.
We're talking with Laura Ingram, who is carpet bombing our guest, which we like, by the way.
It's a scorched earth policy.
Yeah. So.
But didn't Bush look frightened last night at that little, impromptu statement?
Oh, he looked like Gary Gilmore before they shot him.
Yeah, it's like shaking. Oh, they're not going to take it away from me, are they? By the way, Alec Baldwin's passport doesn't know what to do. Am I leaving? Am I staying? What am I...
If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the morning.
I was waiting for, Tipper to join the football game. Anyone need a linebacker?
That's pretty tough here, isn't it? Oh, man.
You want a sensitive, caring pundit? Is that what you want?
No.
Oh, sorry. I'll be more like Anna Quinlan for you. I know that's really a last minute. She's funny. She's Margaret Carlson, rips me up, too. Is she funny? Seriously, she's guest hosting for Leno next week.
In the morning. Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
Conventional wisdom says...
That's just... And you listen to Delbert and all of them, and it doesn't get any better than that, does it?
No, I don't know how it could.
So it sounds like it is.
Maybe a little vomiting. I mean, is this be a little bit? Well, yeah. Is
hanging over the rail. Is this heaven or what?
Oh, my
Get the
God.
Supreme Court going, you got a whole day.
There you go.
Call 1-800-DELBERT for reservations. 1-800-DELBERT, D-E-L-B-E-R-T. Now,
Party?
there's a songwriter in Nashville. The guy is not a singer. He can sing okay, but he's primarily a songwriter, and his name is Michael Smother. Huh?
Specialist.
Douglas. Michael Smotherburn or something like that.
Yeah.
And so Delbert sent me this. Whenever the guy goes in and he does demo records to sell to, like, Vince Gill and Alan Jackson and all that, I guess he records funny songs, too, just to break the ice, you know.
Oh, okay, just for yucks, all right.
Yeah, so Delbert said, well, this record's a scream.
Oh, all right.
So he sent me a copy of it. And Charles and I listened to it, and we had an opinion.
Is this the thing you played?
Yeah.
The other? Oh, well, okay.
Well, Breen and Bernard loved it. Breen, Bernard loved it. Rob and Larry loved it.
Excellent. Very well.
But
Well, that's it. I was not that enamored of it.
Well, it's whatever this guy's name is called is called. Is this heaven or what?
I live out past Pulaski, and I'm on the federal dole. And I drank cheap shine all day, so knew it's still hot. And I get drunk and fire my pistols and boss my dogs around. Now I ask you, is that heaven or what? Well, this old boy from the county, he come out the other day and throwed a list of rules off a clipboard down on my car. Tried to force me into working, so me and Virgil whipped his ass. Now I ask you, is that heaven or what? You're the lady. Thank you. Well, tonight my great Aunt Thelma is cooking up neck bones and greens, and Uncle Gene's always good for a 5 or 10 spot. When I take stock of all around me, well, I near bust out and cry. 'Cause I ask you, is that heaven or what? Now I ask you, is that heaven or what?
It's stupid, isn't it?
It just a
So
goof.
silly.
Just a goof.
But Bernie and Breen, that jerk.
Well, it's funny,
Glad to get McEnroe back in here, aren't you,
No,
Jim?
you are. It's something. You're warped.
Michael, what's the guy's name? Michael Smothersburn or something. Some songwriter from Nashville. He can sing okay.
Yeah, he's not horrible.
I mean, he can make Smotherman. He can make demo records.
There you go. That was one of them.
But I mean, I didn't think that. I just didn't think that. I didn't understand what Delbert was talking about. I mean, it's not the funniest thing I've ever. I mean, it's barely, marginally amusing.
And with my hearing, of course, I missed something he said. I just didn't get it all.
Well, don't worry about that part of it.
Come on, man. I missed some of the lyrics.
That's fine. How you doing, Patrick? How's my man?
Oh, man, just stop now.
You're kidding, right?
18 till he
kidding.
Yes, I am.
I was a dreamer, never got it right. Died and lived in color, lived in black.
year, our traffic woman here in New York, every year gives me and probably everybody else on the staff Christmas presents, but it's always her brother. Is it your brother?
Yes.
Her brother founded this company called, what's it called?
Zagat Restaurant Surveys?
The Zagat Restaurant Service.
Those are great. They're great.
I'm sure they are, Patrick.
I would love to get that as a Christmas
They're
gift.
back in my office, and that's what you're getting.
You get mine, too.
Merry Christmas.
You
Happy
can have
New
like
Year.
You're going to have 5 of them.
Yeah, you can have 5 of them.
You never do anything relating to your business with your brother, would you?
What are you getting me for Christmas?
It's all sponsored. What am I supposed to do? The radio station makes more money than
Get another sponsor.
from advertising the Autobody Express than the Autobody Express does. No, but I mean, it's such a cheesy deal for Lori to give me this.
Well, what did you get me?
Well, I'm not obligated to get you anything, nor will I.
Well, I'm not obligated to get you anything.
Well, then don't give me your brother's cheap, cheesy books.
Oh, man.
This is cold.
That's outrageous. No, you're outrageous.
Well, of course, the good news is my man Mac's back.
Oh, yeah,
That is the weakest thing you've ever done. This is ridiculous.
What?
I wasn't able
you
to.
vilified
I wasn't able to hear the show yesterday because I was on a plane
Right.
coming back from
God
Portugal.
Well, they're lying.
They're not lying. You're lying.
He beat you to death.
Well, I need some taped evidence.
But just the whole show yesterday is your taped evidence.
Then it ought to be easy to find some taped evidence, shouldn't it?
We'll get it.
Of you calling him an unfunny loser.
By the way,
Of you saying, I hate McEnroe.
I don't.
Please come back.
I did not say that.
That's distressing.
I did not say that.
No.
By the way, the worms are crawling out of the woodwork already.
What?
And HarperCollins now has signed Claire Shipman and her hideous husband, James Carney, from Time Magazine, to write a book.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, come on.
Of course.
Oh,
no.
It's not even resolved yet.
It's not even resolved. They've already split a low 6-figure advance, according to the paper here,
Oh, man.
to write Assumption of Power.
There we
This
go.
will be due out in January of 2002. Jeffrey Toobin, he had the O.J. book. He had a book on Clinton. He's going to have a book on all of this. And Greenfield, he's even got a book.
Say it ain't so.
Holy cow.
Greenfield's book is called Oh Waiter, One Order of Crow, Inside the Strangest Election Finish in American History. And Crown Book says it will publish Roger Simon of U.S. News and World Report. Apparently he's been working on this for some time. It's not just about Florida. It will be a quality book.
Oh, yeah.
But we're pushing him to do it faster.
I'm sure they
God
are.
almighty.
Parasites.
Like by Friday.
I mean, this is just a bunch of blood-sucking worms.
Oh, cow.
God almighty. The wheels are about to come off the country, and these bastards, rather than reporting on what's going on, are out hustling book deals.
How can I make a shekel?
By the way, Iman, how many of them are on hold?
Well, they'll all probably be on. Well, there's not going to be anything interesting to read about it for a while. Now, these books, I wouldn't. You couldn't make me read.
With the instant books, the OJ books.
But I mean, you want to read. You want some of these historians to take a look at it and to put it in some sort of perspective that. More so than just rewriting an AP copy, if you understand what I'm saying.
Imus in the morning, 2020 Sports, with Bob Dole's favorite sportscaster. Gives Bob Dole such a tingly feeling down in Bob Dole's wiener. Bob Dole doesn't need that Viagra. Here's Patrick McEnroe. Or whatever.
Good morning,
Patrick. Good morning, Mr. Imus.
My man.
In the nation's capital, a new administration began governing yesterday.
Yeah.
And guess what? They even have their own office space. Redskins rambunctious rich boy owner Daniel Snyder did what everyone knew that he would do. He fired Coach Norv Turner and elevated passing coordinator Terry Robisky to interim head coach. Now here is the thrown out of office Norv Turner, sounding much the way I am sure another Washington insider will sound when he finally comes to grips with the fact that he too has been thrown out of his cushy Washington digs.
I think we all know at some point you're going to move on. It's time for me to move on. You guys have been great to me. I appreciate it, and see you down the road.
Take the hint, Al.
Well, that's fine.
Well, what about this new guy, Iman? Robisky becomes the third African-American head coach in the NFL, and he told reporters yesterday that change is good.
I do believe sometimes a change is necessary. Sometimes a change is for the best.
Sound familiar, Iman? A little backstabbing behind a co-worker's back?
That's unbelievable, isn't it?
Man,
Wonder what was going on all season there.
What do you mean it's unbelievable?
Well, no, but it's one of Norv's guys saying he thinks it's a good idea.
Right.
Sometimes change is necessary and get out.
Yeah, sound familiar.
Go get a belt sander on your face.
Now, Robisky also said, Iman, that he tries to pattern...
Norv Turner has it well.
Yeah, I understand.
Whatever.
He tries to pattern his style on a combination of leaders that he admires most.
Sure.
Al Davis, Bill Parcells, and none other than Bobby Knight.
And Milosevic.
As far as his choice of role models is concerned, I-Man, we can only speculate that Stalin and Attila the Hun were already taken by other coaching disciples in the NFL. In the Monday night game last night, a big one. New England holds off Kansas City 30-24.
What did you write your copy with, a crayon? Look at that. Let me see that
That's
copy.
Sharpie.
Well, no, show Charles that.
There you go.
Do you know how to use a typewriter?
I do, but I like to write it with my hand.
Look at this, Charles.
I know, it looks like, you're talking, it looks like a ransom note.
Looks like something Wyatt and his mom did. What is it with you?
Well, can I read it?
Well, you're probably the only one who can read it.
Well, that's less important.
Well, go ahead.
C.P.Mac read.
So anyway, Chiefs had a chance to win that game in the final seconds, but QB
running.
Elvis Gerbeck, I know we're running out of time, even though the clock stopped. Gerbeck threw a ball over the middle with time running out. Here's the call
You have a song or something?
of that final
His heart hasn't stopped.
play on Westwood One Radio.
Gerbach back to throw, throws it underneath the coverage. It is caught. Not enough for a first down, and they cannot stop the clock. So New England will hold on and win. That made no sense whatsoever.
More insight from Boomer Esiason. That was stupid.
Yeah.
Remember, lock in your dials right here for the latest in sports, I-Man. More Americans get their sports from PMAC Sports on Imus in the Morning than on any other radio outlet in the nation.
Yeah.
PMAC Sports on Imus in the Morning is recognized around the world as the leader in radio sports updates. And I am PMAC.
Imus in the morning.
At PSCG, our Site Finders service can find the right space for your business, right in New Jersey. We have professional experts who know which properties are open and how to close the deal. We have the connections.
This report brought to you by Fusion One. Now you can have all the same files on your work computer and your home computer without having to stuff your pants with floppy disks every day. Check it out at FusionOne.com. Sync is everything. With reports every 20 minutes, this is John Minko, WFAN 2020 Sports.
Get your fan merchandise right now. Go to the web at WFAN.com and click on official WFAN merchandise. There's shirts, jackets, mugs, caps, windbreakers, and umbrellas. Do it now. It's from the Fan. Sports Radio 66, WFAN New York.
The buzz around the weekday mornings with Imus in the morning. And keep it here on Saturday mornings for New York Sports Talk with me, Richard Neer, here on The Fan. Sports Radio 66 WFAN New York.
7:43, we check out the Verizon Online DSL Fan Highway Patrol with Jennifer Fogarty.
Just still a couple of problems on the New England Thruway. Starting in Westchester, southbound side packed at Mamaroneck Avenue with an accident on the left shoulder. And then
Breathe under clear skies. That's what's happening. I'm Joe Tollison with 2020 Sports and WFAN. They're home from Mike and the Mad Dog weekday afternoons from 1 until 6:30.
Sports Radio 66,
Well, good evening to you. How you be? 8:04, 50 seconds. Tuesday night on the Van, New York City. Steve Summers here, you there. Kevin Mooney and Kyle Casey. They're on the other side of the glass. 718-937-6666. The number for a Tuesday schmooze until Richard Neer at 10. Right here on your Fan, New York City. So I'm very, very skeptical.
The Fan Highway Patrol.
Good morning to you. We say Imus in the morning, 2020 Sports, with a stupid, lazy, inferior American sportscaster, Patrick McEnroe.
Good morning,
Patrick.
Good morning, I-Man. An historic postal delivery in Utah last night. A finger roll from the mailman, Karl Malone, put him ahead of Wilt Chamberlain on the NBA's all-time scoring list. Fitting, don't you think, that Karl went ahead of Wilt with one of the Stilt's patented shots. Malone scored 31 on the night and moves into second place on the all-time list. The Jazz beat Toronto 98-84. And here's the jubilant Malone after the game.
It's like every single teammate was pulling for me, and I think that's the highlight. That's what I remember. Of course, you remember the play because they're short over and over, but just my teammates been pulling for me the whole year. And we got, here, well.
You show some respect to the mailman. 37 years old.
He's a moron.
Here's a guy who's been on 11 first-team All-Star teams.
No rings.
Not one.
No rings, not one.
Guy just keeps on going.
No rings.
Utah, by the way, has the best record in the West at 14-4, and one of the reasons is former Knicks spark plug John Starks. who was an off-season free agent pickup by the Jazz. And when you're Starks in the Jazz, well, it doesn't matter who you play.
What we wanted to do is come out and jump on Toronto. We jumped on them real quick, got to a big lead.
It doesn't even matter who it is. You don't even have to know who the other team is.
No.
You'll still beat them. In the two marquee matchups out west, Chris Webber led Sacramento with 30 points in an 81-75 win over San Antonio. And the Lakers beat Philadelphia 96-85. Kobe had 36, and Shaq finished with 27 points and 20 boards. We'll hear from Kobe and Shaq later in this sports game.
Keep it where it is.
Tingling.
Now, in case you missed it last night, HBO's Real Sports did a feature segment about Fox's Sunday morning NFL pregame show. Weatherwoman Jill Barbary, who is occasionally seen electronically superimposed wandering through Chris Collinsworth's hair, told reporter Bernie Goldberg that, and I'm quoting, "The fact that I've done weather for 10 years seems to be overshadowed by the fact that I have breasts." Is Jill the Thrill somehow implying that we should start paying more attention to Al Roker's breasts?
I don't know.
Hello? Now, here's something I bet you never you hear, man.
Crickets.
Jets' head coach Al Groh said,
They're even asleep.
"We need a big game this Sunday from Keyshawn Johnson." Keyshawn's Tampa Bay Bucks play Miami, of course, which currently holds a one-game lead over the Jets in the AFC East. The Jets could clinch a playoff spot by beating Oakland next Sunday night on the West Coast, coupled with a Giants win at home over Pittsburgh. A Giants win, of course, would also move Big Blue closer to the playoffs. Hey, is it too much to ask for a Subway Super Bowl, on the heels of a Subway series in baseball? In a word, yes.
It is.
So, forget about it.
PMAC with sports here on the Imus
Imus in the morning.
The Nets dropped the 88-64 decision last night to the Pacers in Indy. Rangers Capitals 6:35 on 10:50 a.m. radio.
Are they playing without him again tonight, Mink, or we don't know?
Don't know. Do not know. Up in the air. Islanders skate against the Panthers in Florida. They certainly need them, and they shot just 27% in that game last night. This report brought to you by Sam Goody. Get your daily dose of funky, high-energy tunes with the Red Hot Chili Peppers album, Californication, on Warner Brothers. It's available now at Sam Goody. Goody got it. With reports every 20 minutes, this is John Mako, WFAN 20.
The race to the postseason is on, so keep it right here for Giants football. This Sunday at 1 p.m. as Big Blue hosts the Pittsburgh Steelers. Our coverage begins with Giants game day at 11:30, right after the NFL Now. On the Fan, Sports Radio 66, WFAN New York.
Mike and the Mad Dog on Sports Radio 66, the Fan, WFAN.
Sunday, December 17th, is Center Court there in Chatham, New Jersey. There will be a good
20 minutes. This is John Mako, WFAN 20 Sports.
The 50,000-watt Clear Channel voice of Imus in the morning and sports all day is The Fan. Sports Radio 66, WFAN, New York.
Do you have a special warrant?
Of their ongoing commitment to wireless safety, AT&T encourages you to let voicemail answer calls when you're at the wheel. Wireless from AT&T arrives safely. With reports every 20 minutes, this is John Mako, WFAN 20 Sports.
It's Giants head coach Jim Fossil with Mike and the Mad Dog. Today and every Monday at 5:05. Here on The Fan, Sports Radio 66, WFAN New York.
This is Football Talk, and I'm with St. Louis Rams quarterback Kurt.
Well, what? McCain or Bob Carey or... Because it's just... Although he can get a little shaky on you, Carey. Well, so can McCain, but but for the most part... It's too late. You're not going to have either Bob Carey or John McCain in there. Was a bunch of, Chinese been taking briefcases full of money or some fat intern. Honking on your nozzle. Yes, Charles, honking on your nozzle. That kind of thing. Well, the more I get to thinking about this, I get so angry.
It's not, well, you don't show
because
it.
Because it just, But I mean, as awful as Bush is, Gore is far worse, just as a human being. He's just an awful person. And and you're finding that out. And people used to, I actually had people call me, were angry with me about it, all my liberal friends. How can I say that? He's an awful person. I mean, that stuff he did with his sister, that whole convention deal, that's awful. Sure. That's such awful karma that, that's disgraceful. Well. But the Bush behavior wasn't much better down there, and that whole stuff with the...
Well, you're going to get one of them, my man. You're going to have to live with it.
Well, at least with Bush, I think he knows he's a moron, And so he's going to surround himself.
I don't think he would. I don't think.
Oh, I guarantee he does.
Concede that.
Well, of course he does. He knows he's an idiot. Of course he does. This guy, how could you know you're not a moron? He's got to know he's a moron. Watch himself on television trying to answer a question. He's an idiot.
You get up in the morning.
But at least he will surround himself with people who, I don't know, unless he just drags out all his fathers, all those old drunks.
All those old drunks, where does that come from?
I don't know.
You are angry.
Well, I'm actually discouraged.
Depressed.
You know? Yeah, I mean, it's just the choices.
Frustrated.
And the way this whole...
Well, this has been...
The way this whole voting thing, who had any idea about any of that? I mean, remember, we kind of sort of suspected just in my voting experience. But
yeah. Well, Senator John McCain said right here this morning and said he was unaware of the numbers involved.
And the willingness of people to be dishonest in all of this is shocking. You know, somebody like David Boies, I mean, to maliciously misrepresent basic facts in order just to win.
It does get down to whatever it takes.
And the other side's just
absolutely.
Guilty.
Without question. No one has distinguished themselves.
But the jive boys tried to pull with the initial decision of the Florida Supreme Court when they cited that bogus Illinois Supreme Court decision and what that represented in terms of that they had endorsed counting pregnant chads and all that stuff, and that was not the case. Dimpled ballots, and that was not at all. That was not the case at all.
They had not considered that.
And I forget what some of the stuff the Republicans have done have been just equally as bad. But this is a situation that's just it's just too bad they both can't live.
We're here to... Gives Bob Dole such a tingly feeling down in Bob Dole's wiener. Bob Dole doesn't need that Viagra. Here's Patrick McEnroe. Or whatever.
Good morning,
Patrick.
Good morning, Mr. Imus. This Imus Sports Report is brought to you by Subaru. A couple of quick hits before we get to what we have all been waiting for. Tony Gwynn re-signs with the San Diego Padres for his 20th season. David Cohn's run with the Yankees is over. Cohn does not accept the Yankees' $11.5 million pay cut. And Mario Lemieux coming out of retirement with the team he now owns, the Pittsburgh Penguins. And the Knicks beat San Antonio 86-83, handing the Spurs their first home loss of the season. And now time, I-Man, for PMAC's Pigskin Picks, the segment of our sportscast that offers terrific economic opportunities for both bettors and potential sponsors. Maestro Lou Rufino in New York, crank up that cheesy NFL Films music if you will, please. And away we go. The Giants, 3.5-point favorites at home against the Steelers. Sorry, Fasolites, but PMAC prefers Pitt. The Raid does, also 3.5-point favorites at home against the Jets. PMAC postulates put your dough on Al Groh. Place your BETS, bets, and ride home with some Big Green. In St. Louis, the Rams establishes plus 3.5 over the Vikes. PMAC is perplexed. Denny Green's Purple Gang, also an indoor team built to run, is looking to make a statement and gunning for home field advantage in the playoffs. This one is PMAC's Master Lock of the Week. Go to either bank of the Mississippi on this one. The most eagerly awaited contest in Florida is not in Tallahassee, but in Miami-Dade County. The Dolphins, with a one-game lead in the AFC East, host desperate Tampa Bay. The Finns have been installed as 2.5-point favorite. PMAC says the Bucks won't stop here, which will be great news for the Jets. Thanks for this holiday gift, Keyshawn. Now for the easy pickings. Redskins plus 6 over the Cowboys. Terry Robisky and Jeff George will give Dan Snyder a big victory over Jerry Jones in the battle of the league's two most obnoxious owners. Eagles plus 14 over the Browns. Philly will cover this spread like cream cheese. And this week's upset special, the Jaguars at home with 15.5 points on the Cardinals. PMAC's pronouncement, no way the Jacksies cover. You heard this one first right here. And finally, Atlanta has a bye this week. PMAC still doesn't like the Falcons. They could well lose to each other in a scrimmage without pads. I'm PMAC. Look for my exclusive 800 number on MSNBC's coverage of Imus in the Morning, where no one, I repeat, no one, scams a gullible national audience the way we do. And we are proud of it. I'm PMAC, and that is sports.
You are a mental gnat.
Those are my picks of the week.
You have lost. What has happened to you?
In the NFL, I'm in where they play for pay.
Are you out there hanging out with Pat Caddell?
No, I don't think I am.
Robert Downey Jr.?
Who's Pat Caddell?
Timothy Leary?
Man, what is your man? You are nuts.
Yes, I am. I'm just giving you my picks, my PMAC pigskin picks of the week. What's the matter with that?
It's actually pretty good, to be honest with
They're
you.
actually excellent.
No, the whole, your writing was pretty good.
You like that, don't you?
Yeah, I did.
Well, good. I'm glad. I'm glad to hear that, Imus.
See you next hour.
Take care.
Patrick McEnroe here in the Imus Morning program, and we like McEnroe.
Beat it, doofus.
Yeah, get off him. Get off my TV. Where's Fred? What happened to him?
We haven't heard from Fred yet.
Uh-oh.
Next hour. Hopefully.
I don't know. Things aren't going well, man. I was just talking to my wife. She agrees with me, you know. She had forgotten about that whole stunt that the Bush people pulled down there with McCain in South Carolina, but yeah. So, that's just as bad, I think.